clung to, I no longer cling to. What I thought, I no longer think. What I desired, I no longer desire. What I used to react to, I no longer react to. I've accepted the past and cherished nostalgia. Things I had misconceptions about, I embrace. Everything I knew no longer applies. Now I see with new eyes. All the things that weighed me down, I discarded. The person I was is no longer. I have fallen in love with the direction of nature and have no discrepancies. I have unraveled. Everything I held dear disappeared. My mind grew tired of the subject. I do not advise you to do the same. I have unraveled, but I will reply when you call my name. Nothing major has changed, neither action or inaction. The faithful passions are on rough or smooth terrain. I still yearn to bypass this phase. Truthfully, what I lost is worth more than what I gained. Electrochemical compulsions, pulses from the environment governing our reactions, jitters, personalities develop to slow it down even if you perceive it as turbulent friction, expansion and contraction, to embrace all vibrations and not be governed by electrochemical compulsions. What you were does not apply to what is now. Typical neurons hard to rewire after the fire seems permanent. To be with the flow of nature's highs and lows, but not taken away. At the mercy of, but not fully out of control. The friction is caused by. In real life, I don't know who I'm going to be. In dreams, I do not know who I'm going to be. The lens and the scene. Inseparable polarities, fading into sound. Sound and motion, depth of vision, superimposed blinks, inseparability, coinciding, waves of emotion, disoriented union, faintish, fusing into vibrations, ineffable slur, coexistent synchronicity, internal, external, periphery, sound yet hypnotized, murmurs, pitches, pulsations, quavers, glimpses unable to be grasped, photographs drifting into future landscapes, merging into all vibrations, organic and inorganic, tense resistance, friction, holding on to form, fearing union with the unknown. I think I have some control here. The body seems like an innocent bystander. Often the self overrides the body. The brain seems like inorganic stardust landing in an organic body. Transubstantiation. The friction of existence. Epicenter. Shock waves to and from. Subsonic tremors. Aftershock. Subliminal shrapnel. Ricochet. Cement mixing, solidifying. Motion oozing into stillness elusively. Holding on for dear life. Daisy chain. Bits through power lines. You scroll on a screen with a perimeter. The scroll goes further, but the screen stays the same. The soul leaves, the body remains. The soul seems like a paradise, wants what the body. The soul seems like a parasite, wants what the body can't take, always trying to ditch it, trying to transcend nature naturally, always exceeding their predecessors, reach beyond the seeds which planted itself, supposedly pollinated by. The body has the organs. Is the soul the electrical signal? Feed. The inorganic become organic through conduction. For everything to hold orbit is harmonic resistance. Interdependent polarities. The soul must leak, for the vessel cannot hold water forever. Evaporation. The vanishing point between formlessness and form. Jostling friction. Oscillating. Delayed effect. Memory lapse. Time is motion. Developing seemingly. Condense. Compressing. Unraveling. The succeeding seeds develop pictures quicker and clearer than earlier models, yet their gears wear out under manual operation. They will have time to abandon the carcass before it decomposes, when the earth gives birth to a new development in her story, process of elimination. The water is the medium for the sustenance. The oxygen is the atmosphere. Both you cannot live without. One, an invisible gas. Air can be solid. Water can be solid. They are both one and the same. There is no high or low. Only the infinite, omnidirectional center. Familiar, unfamiliar. Timeless alternative variables coexisting. Casting omnidimensionally. When you recharge a battery, eventually the charge dwindles till it becomes completely depleted, reconstituted. When one extreme falls, another extreme rises. Lurking foreshadow, lava, land masses separated. What was sunken emerges, uncharted passageways on Earth. 2030. Maybe even if it means dormancy between. When I am in unison, there is no resistance. I tend to fluctuate. When you taste perfection, you want it to be always. When you become reborn, after you understand why the perfection fades, I would say, but I know you already know. Throw away the claim and retire. No longer contend. There is no kingdom left to defend. When your resistance is conquered, trust in winter, trust in spring, and summer and fall, the transformations between. I could say more. We all see it rise again. Now there's the rest, all between. I have traveled beyond, but the eye of gazelle is still there. It's still here. It's still then. When the moment occurred, the beginning was the end. Flickers of momentum, glimpses of perfection with turbulence, congealing. Improvisation clarified. When you see all times put together. To fluctuate between stability and instability. To not know where it's going, the thrill, the uncertainty. To be in unison with all vibrations. Intercept frequencies on point, at the cusp, on a spin never been. A recessive gene, a new way to breathe. At first it was mystically terrifying. At first it looked like all hell broke loose. At first it looked like two geese fighting, then dancing, then fucking. Floating underwater, then erupting into painful joy. Everything that I believe in, everything that I believe in is a drug. I was blind, now I got to get it off my mind. I didn't know it was a scene until the scene was gone. There is no freedom if you still have to breathe air. My will protrudes, encompassing spectrums, Nothing is the opposite of me. Nothing is my enemy. Nothing is the opposite of me. Nothing is my enemy. Drug. There are walls in this prison, but the bars are up to you. The truth is a barbed wire fence, escaping into your own perception or imprisoned by, to watch, on guard, behind the scenes and the scenery. You become a part of what you watch, even if it is not happening to you. My soul protrudes beyond my body, sitting in the lobby, awaiting freedom or incarceration, awaiting the unknown, unable to create my own dream beyond what I know and or infected by. When you unlock the power of yin, you also unlock the power of yang. Once you cross that threshold, there is no going back. I've already lost my kingdom. There is nothing left to defend. When the forgery becomes the real thing, and the real thing becomes the forgery. After you win the game is over. After you lose the game is over. There are games that you win nothing, and you lose nothing. It's just a joy in the playing. The only time I pray is when I listen. The only time I hear is when I am silent. The more I look in silence, the more I see. Panoramic center, central panorama. I won't be giving myself up, and I won't be leaving myself behind. That's the motion of the river. That's the motion of the river. What will be? Is it ever permanent? What will be? Is it ever permanent? What will be? Is it ever permanent? To take the mind beyond the body, and the body beyond the mind. You cannot build up the mind and not the body, and vice versa. You cannot build up the body and not the mind. The mind can only take so much. The body can only take so much. After the body dies, the mind roams for a while. I say I don't want to play the game, and I always catch myself playing it by what I say. To present a view, to get a point across, to upkeep my image is part of the game. The last of my works till I depart. The sorrowing burden of leaving those behind still playing the game, their own or another's. Where I go to is not a physical location. I already tried to share these words, they always fail. Every trail will end at a point. To give up doesn't mean death. To become the plague that no one can roam outside of. To play the game only feeds the illusion. Exempting oneself from the cycle of birth and death. Words are not consciousness. A new view can only be animated from. My exit will not increase or decrease. Even to defend myself is tiring. The truth is an enemy to the status quo. The individual is a part of the whole, whether they leave or stay. What's going on is always in unison with creation. I feel something made. Pre-motion. Just before you move, there's already a lag. Your momentum moves backwards to go forwards. Ripples echo from the past, avalanche, ergo. The season that appeared to bring life did not, sowing seeds. The season that happened to be dead was only dormant. The walls were illuminated as she died, resurrected ages later, out of spit, slime, and linen. The more time passes by, the more irrelevant the truth is. To no longer search for the inevitable answer. Listening for the voice of God will be the new living language, without motive. Omni-identical. Should the spirit exclude the flesh? When the flesh and the spirit are in unison, let's be like a chorus of frogs, doing everything when it needs to be done. Shadows fade into light. Apparitions neither past, present, or future. I am not here to woo you of stars. I can only speak if I speak straight from the horse's mouth. Portraying culture, symbiotic dance. The trees are dancing, mid-stride, amidst the moon, reaching into stillness. The trees are in pose, dormancy, the time between embarking and disembarking, lag time, ripples, the deepest octave to the highest octave and back, and the axis, the shudders, the turbulence, the friction, the contrary oscillations. I always lose my train of thought trying to explain it.